Okay, so when you finished university,
Yes.
what was your degree in?
Journalism.
Journalism. Okay. Whenever you finished uni, how did you find your route to employment? Was it easy to get a job, or did you find it slightly harder because you have Asperger's doing interviews and things like that? How did you get around that?
I graduated 2 years ago with a journalism degree, and I think having the Asperger's, it was a little bit tougher, and then also coupled with the economy that we have isn't great for people coming out of college. But for Asperger's, I think it was just a little bit tougher because I think the biggest thing is that people with Asperger's, myself included, the structure is a big thing, and I think one of the keys in searching for employment is just searching a job that fits skill set best, and that's well structured, and I'll admit I've held a variety of different positions since graduation, but I found that the autism advocacy has become my passion.
Right.
And I have now entered into that, and I am doing a lot of freelance stuff, so to speak, on the side, and just kind of growing my network within the autism community around the world.
Okay, so you find your niche basically, and you want to develop
Yes.
that now, and you feel
Yes.
comfortable in that position.
Yeah, and for me, I found that the traditional job, I found that 9 to 5 isn't really for me. While I enjoy the 9 to 5, I'm more of a free spirit in the sense that I find that I like to do a lot of different things.
Did your colleagues within your job, did they support you?
They did. Autism to some people is still fairly new back in the States. For some people, I still had to tell them what it was. But yeah, their support's always been there once you tell people what you have and what there is. I like to think of it as a light bulb moment when you tell someone, because initially they don't necessarily know. There may be some social quirks, do some things a little bit differently.
Right.
But when you tell people, oh, I have Asperger's or this, then you're seen as, oh, well, that's just Zach. It's not, oh, he's a little off. It's, oh, well, it makes sense. Light bulb, oh, it's just Zach.
Yes.
So.
And there's people who have physical disabilities, different types of disabilities, and once people understand that, then they can, they can reconcile it in their own head then.
Yeah,
Give you the support that you need.
once the awareness, I think the key is always awareness.
Yes.
And once the awareness is made in the workplace or really wherever, and where the situation calls for it, that's when you make your greatest strides.
Can you explain to me your feelings and your experience with having Asperger's, how it's made you feel throughout the years, and how you've got support in that from the community and your family having the autism spectrum disorder?
Sure. Well, I was diagnosed when I was 8, and at the time, Asperger's and autism was still relatively new. It was recognized, but this was back in the late 90s when it was still sort of coming to the forefront. Support system, I was never really, a unique thing about my situation, I was never really put, there weren't really many advocacy or special ed programs or school programs for me because, like I said, when I was diagnosed, that wasn't really popular back in the States back then. They didn't really know so much about it, so that there weren't, a lot of the special education programs were for more physical disabilities, and a lot of the behavioral programs and the autism specialty side and your special ed teachers that dealt with autism hadn't come around yet. So I was mainstream the entire time. My support system was through counselors within the school. My mom's always been very supportive. Family friends have always been very supportive. And then as I got older, I sort of, came into it, and really as I entered, I'd say about high school, so about 14, 15 is when I really started to come into, full awareness and recognition of how it affected my daily life.
Okay. And what did you find useful or helpful for you having Asperger's? What was the support mechanisms within the school that you found useful? Was it the counsellors and that your school had? Because in Northern Ireland we don't have. I would say Northern Ireland would be behind the United States with things like that. public awareness over here is not as high as it would be even in America, and the support systems probably wouldn't be as good as they are in America. So what support systems helped you throughout those years?
Support systems, I would have to say, like I said, definitely counselors, parents, finding ways to get involved in the community and within activities was great, because it caused social interaction to help bloom, and I thrust myself into environments where I got to try and meet a lot of people. Although I do have social difficulties with the Asperger's, I'm definitely, I would consider myself an extrovert, and so I try to thrust myself into big group activities, and I think staying involved and being put in a position where I felt like I had a role where I belonged. I always tried to do things where I had kind of a defined role and task, joined student council, things like that, to kind of give myself meaning. And that allowed for that type of success.
Because that is one of Autism NI's goals, is to make every person within the autism community become valued members of the community and active members of the community as well. So the community understands what autism is, but they also want to support that individual with autism within the community. So that helped you, which is brilliant. So what are your interests and hobbies?
I love to travel.
Right. And do you find the Asperger's whenever you're traveling can be difficult? Or
as I've gotten older, no. I would say maybe 10, 15 years ago, there would have been things that I would have maybe gotten confused over, or this or that. But for me, I've always been very independent. Even when I was young, I was always doing things on my own.
Right.
And I find that traveling is great because it fosters independence and it forces you to be self-reliant. And I find that especially with having the autism and the Asperger's, it allows me to kind of get outside of my comfort zone.
Right.
And I think it really actually acts as a tool to help me better my social skills and just my life skills in general by being thrust into an area where I have to interact with people to when I'm traveling, really to get where I need to go. I mean, you can't be a successful traveler without social interaction, and you know, I get to do something I love, and I'm also building my own personal skills.
So you're facing it all head on, basically.
Yes, yeah, it's a.
And can you tell me how many countries you've visited over the past 4 weeks? Because I know that you're on a sort of Europe.
Yes.
Europe.
I've been here for about 3 weeks now, and I've been to Germany, Italy, England, France, Ireland, now with you guys, Northern Ireland.
Oh, cool. And today you're going up to Stormont as well?
Yes, yes.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us today, Zach. You're a real inspiration to all of the autism community, not only in Northern Ireland, but throughout the world, and I wish you all the best in your trip.